Hi, this is Cheryl Goodrich, 4-H educator in Monroe County, and I just want to do a short video with you today to go over the process of enrolling in 4-H online. For the past few years, we have always used paper enrollment forms in Monroe County, and this year Ohio 4-H is moving to having everyone do their online enrollments themselves, and so we're going to go over how to do that. So the website that we're going to go to today is called oh.4honline.com. All right, so although most people have not seen 4-H online themselves, this is a database that we have been using in the Extension office for about the past 5 years. And so anyone who has been involved in 4-H in Monroe County between 2015 and 2020 already has a profile in 4-H online. And so that's why we need to use the information that you have previously given us as your login information, because we want to log into the profile that you already have in the system rather than having you create a new profile. And so everyone from their club advisor should receive a copy of their family email that they had provided to us in the past, and that email address is going to be your login. So if you don't get that from your 4-H advisor, or you need to know what that email is, you can always contact the Extension office and we can get that email for you. So the screen that we see right here is going to be the login screen. And so the first thing you're going to do is take the email that we provide here and put it into the first box. And it's going to ask you for a password. But since you have not logged into 4-H online before, you don't have a password yet. And so what you're going to do is go down here to the bottom where it says reset password. And so right down here at the bottom, you want to reset your password so that you can create your own password in the system. If you have not previously been in 4-H and you're a new member, when you get to this screen, you will put in an email address here, and then you will go down here where it says don't have an account and start from there and create your account. One thing to note is this has to be a working email address, because they will send you an email to confirm your password, and so this has to be an email address that you can receive email in and open. So if the email that we provide you is one that you're no longer using, then you will need to contact the Extension office and have us update your email address to one that is currently working. So I'm just going to take you through the process of enrolling my own daughter in 4-H through this year so that you can see what all the steps look like. So what I've done here is put my email address into the login box, and I hit that reset password button. And so this is the next screen that I see right here. It wants me to hit the blue box and confirm that I want to reset my password. So as I mentioned, what it will do is it will send an email to that email address that you provided. So that's what it's telling me on this screen, that it did send an email to my email account. And so now I need to go to my email and open that and confirm from there that I received that. So now I've gone to my email and I've clicked on the link to verify that, and it brought me back to 4-H online, and it wants me to create a password. And you can see the qualifications here. It has to be at least 10 characters. It has to have a number, a capital letter, and a symbol. So you go ahead and choose a password that you want, and you type that in both of those boxes and then hit change password. All right, so now that we've done that, we've set our password, it's going to take us back to the login screen and we're ready to get started. And so we go ahead and put in our email address again, we type in our password that we just set, and we hit sign in. So the screen that comes up here is called our family profile. And so for every family that's involved in 4-H, you have a family profile. And the profile will have anyone in the family who serves as a 4-H volunteer or as a 4-H member. And so on my example here, we can see that there's an entry for myself and then for my 2 kids as well. On the top of the profile, you're going to have your address and phone number, contact information. If you see anything here that needs updated, for example, if you've moved since we updated your profile, you can click up here on the left-hand corner where it says family, and there's a place there where you can edit that and change your address or phone number or things that you need to change there. Down here where you see the adult or children's names listed, it's going to have their birth dates under there. And if you see any mistakes or anything there, you can click on the blue box that says View next to that member, and that will allow you to go in and edit their information if you see any mistakes there. So the next thing we want to do is, on my example here, I'm going to go ahead and enroll Darcy. And so I go beside Darcy and I'm going to click on the blue words that say Enroll Now. So the first question that you're going to see whenever you start to do your enrollment is what grade the member is in school. So you go ahead and click that box and it has a drop-down menu and you choose their grade. The next box is just a confirmation that you want to enroll in 4-H as a youth member. If you are a volunteer, it's going to ask you to confirm that you are enrolling as an adult. If you are an 18-year-old member, it will ask you if you want to enroll as a 4-H member or if you're enrolling as an adult volunteer. So if you are 18 years old and still in 4-H, you're going to want to confirm that you're still enrolling as a youth member. So the next screen that you see after that is where you choose your club. And so on the screen here you can see it has a box for club membership, and you're going to click the blue box that says Select Clubs. If you are a new member, you will want to make sure that you have connected with a club before you get in here and select your club, because you do need to let your club advisors know that you intend to join their club. So please do that step before you would get in here and start to enroll into a club. So when you click that Select Clubs button, this is what you're going to see. There's a drop-down list here, and you want to make sure that it says Monroe County at the top. The next box, it says Youth Volunteer Role, and what is in there, if you click that drop-down box, it has a place where you can select if you have an officer role, for example, within your club. If you're the president or vice president, secretary, so on of your club. That is not something that we use in Monroe County, so you can just disregard that volunteer role box. We don't need that information in here. And so what you're going to do then is scroll down until you find your club name, and then click Add beside the club name. So this is the screen that you see next. As you can see here, I've enrolled Darcy in the Bellsville Busy Bees Club, and it lists that as her primary club. For most people, that's all you're going to have is one 4-H club. The exception is for folks that might be in the shooting sports club. You may have another club in addition to the shooting sports club. So if that is the case, then you will go down here underneath of the club box where it says Select Units, and you will hit that again, and you can go in and select the shooting sports club as well. But for most folks, one club is all you're going to choose here, and you'll see that listed on the screen, and then you're going to hit the Next button. Now we're ready to select our 4-H projects, and so pretty self-explanatory. You're going to hit the blue box here that says Select Projects. Similar to what we saw before when we picked our club, now we have a drop-down box that has a list of all the projects that we can take. So you are going to scroll down this list until you find the project number and name that you wish to take, and you're going to hit Select. You can only choose these one at a time, but then you'll be able to come back and select an additional project after you get the first one selected. And just something to note is for the purposes of this database, Cloverbud members also have to select a project. And so if you're a Cloverbud member, you're going to pick 710 GPM Cloverbud activities. So that's what you're going to select as your project if you're a Cloverbud. All right, so once I selected a project here for Darcy, this is the screen that I saw. I selected the 226 Market Rabbit project, and it's going to ask you how many years you have been in the project. If you know that, that's fine. If you have an estimate, that's fine. We don't need to know the exact number of years that you've taken a project. That's not something that we really use from this database in Monroe County, so just an estimate here is fine. You don't need to be exact. And so then down at the bottom, you're going to click on the Add button. For certain projects that you select in 4-H Online, it's going to ask you to consent to some acknowledgments here. And so because I picked an animal project, now it's giving me this Ohio Revised Code Livestock Standards Acknowledgement, which is basically just saying that I realize I might have to take quality assurance because I'm taking this project. And so you're going to go down at the bottom, you're going to type in the member's name and then a parent guardian name, and then select the checkbox that you understand the statement. For dog projects, it has a particular project consent that you need to sign for that. Horse projects also have one, and I believe shooting sports projects. So any of those projects that you select, you will see this consent box pop up. So after I signed that consent and accepted it, it brings me back to the project screen. And so for my example here for Darcy, I wanted to add another project for her, a breeding rabbit project. And so I went back and I did that by hitting the select projects button again. And so I went through that process again, had to sign another consent and did that, and that brought me back to this screen eventually. And so now that I have 2 projects selected for her here, that's all I want, and I'm ready to select next. So just make sure when you're on this screen that you have selected all the projects that you want, because if you go through and do this whole process and submit your enrollment, then you cannot go back in and add additional projects. If you decide that you want to do that, you forgot something or decide to take something later, you can contact the extension office and we can go in and put those projects in for you, but you won't be able to do that after you submit your enrollment. So after we've done that, we're going to click on the blue next button. Okay, so getting close to the end of our enrollment here, it's going to tell us that we have to answer some questions. And so when you get to this box, you're going to hit the blue button here that says Show Questions. All right, so here it brings up a list of questions. We can't see them all here on this screen because it does kind of drop down, but you'll see it starts out with gender, grade, demographic information, basically all the information that you've always put in on your paper enrollment form about where you live and all those sorts of things. Is anyone in your family serving in the military? All those types of questions, what school you attend. And so those are all on a drop down from this screen. So if you just keep scrolling down, you'll be able to answer those questions. There are a couple of questions when you get to the bottom of that screen that are not really things that we need in Monroe County, I guess. Some counties or some states do use this information, but we don't. And so when you get down to things like t-shirt size, we don't really use that. That'll be something that comes through your club, most likely. There is a box here if you are participating in FFA as well as 4-H. So you would want to check that box if you are. That helps us keep track of that for the junior fair. And then at the bottom, it's going to ask you to upload a photo, and that is also not something that we really need you to do. If you want to, if it's easy or whatever, you can do that, but that's not something that we really need. So anything that's not really required with red lettering on the questions is not something that we need you to fill out. So the final process in your enrollment is called consents, and so you are going to click on the blue box here that says Show Consents. All right, and consents are basically what you see here, consent to share information. For example, we need to share information about your child's project with fair officials at some point. There's Ohio 4-H Code of Conduct that you'll be asked to sign, as well as a photographic permission if you allow your child's photograph to be used for publicity purposes for the 4-H program and things like that. And so for each of those boxes, you'll be asked to type in the member's name and then the parent guardian name, and then check the checkbox. And finally, here we are on the confirmation screen. And so now we see Darcy's enrollment, her club that we've selected, her projects that we've selected, and if everything looks okay here, then we're going to click the green submit button. Once we have submitted her enrollment, now here we are back at our family profile again, and you can see next to Darcy's name it says club member awaiting review. And so once you submit your enrollments, then that will show up in our system at the extension office, and we will look over your enrollment and make sure everything looks okay. We have all the information that we need, and then we will approve your enrollment. If there are any issues, things that we think might need clarification or whatever, then we will contact you to let you know what those are. But if everything looks good here, then you can continue. If you want to enroll another child or a volunteer, then you could go back here and click the blue Enroll Now statement there beside that person's name and continue through the same process that we just did. The final slide I have here is just a copy of the email that you will receive at your email address that you logged in with from 4-H Online, telling you that your enrollment has been submitted and that it's being reviewed for approval. So once you see that, then you know that your enrollment has gone through, and we will receive that at the extension office and be ready to process it on. So once again, here's my contact information, my email address, and our phone number at the extension office. Please feel free to contact us at any time whenever you have any questions about the enrollment process or anything else, and we are more than happy to help. If you need help even logging in or whatever, you can stop by the office. We will actually log on with you on the computer and walk through the process. We're happy to do anything we can to help everyone get enrolled and hopefully have a start to a very successful year. Thank you.